I'm Caitlin E, and welcome to the Lit Review. Today we are doing my challenge check-in. So if you remember way at the beginning of the year in January, which feels like forever ago, even if it was only a couple of months, I did a video where I was telling you all about the different types of challenges I am trying to complete this year. So this is going to be my like semi-quarterly check post or checkpoint for those. And so I'm going to run you through a rough outline of what those big challenges are, as well as what books I have already knocked off with those. So I will link that original video up there if you would like to refresh yourself for the big blank challenge of it all. But I'll try to cover the bulk of what you need to know here in this video. And though I mentioned a couple of different things in that video, today we're going to be focusing on 3 specific challenge sets. The A to Z challenge, the Book Riot Read Harder challenge, and the PopSugar Reading challenge for 2021. What I'm going to do is, for all of these, I will go through all the books that I've read and what kind of challenges they check off. So you're going to be seeing a lot of the books used multiple times across these 3 challenges. So far this year I have read 29 books to my goal of 110. So you'll be seeing some of those sprinkled in throughout. But not all of the books I've read count for all of these challenges, so there will be some left out as well. What I'd like to do is I'm looking forward to the next quarter before I check in with you in late June, early July. I'm gonna tell you a couple of books that I think I can prioritize a specific challenge, and then I'm going to ask your help with a challenge that has me a little stumped, so that I can try to start thinking about how to actually accomplish some of these challenges, especially if they're outside my wheelhouse. So we can get some collaboration and you can help me make some progress on these challenges. But first things first is the A to Z title challenge. And I do this every year. I've never beaten it, but maybe this year will be my year. This is a challenge that I saw for the first time in a Goodreads group called Bookworm Bitches. I wasn't really participating in the group enough to justify my continued presence in it, but I love this challenge and have always tried to keep going with it. So full credit to the creators of that from that challenge group. But the rules set forth in that original post are as follows. All books for this yearly challenge have to be completed in 2021. Check. Articles, like grammatical articles like a or an or the, do not count towards the title. So I'll point that out when we come to it because it'll be really obvious. And then the only letter that gets a special ruling is the letter X, because X is a tricky letter to start something with. So if you can do it, spiffy. But if you want to kind of tap out and play it a slightly easier mode like I'm gonna do, X is the only letter where any X in the title counts, like just any X at all. I'm not gonna be doing summaries with these because you've already seen my reviews for everything at this point, but it's really just about showing you what I've got checked off. So for A, I did Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han. For B, I did Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. For C, I did The Color Purple by Alice Walker. For D, I did The Duke Heist by Erica Ridley. For D, I did An Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole. So those are the first chunk. I got the first chunk of the alphabet done, and then it's where we start to skip around a little bit. So then I have G, Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. For L, I did Last Days of Summer by Steve Kluger. For N, I used Night Song by Beverly Jenkins. For O, I used One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. For P, I used Pet by Akweke Emezi. And here's where we skip a whole bunch, because then I go straight to W, White Rage by Carol Anderson. And then I was able to check off X. I could have used An Extraordinary Union for that, but I used Shadow of the Fox for X, and that is written by Julie Kakawa. So of the 26 letters of the alphabet, I have knocked off 12 so far in the first handful of months since I started doing this challenge. So I'm feeling pretty good about actually being able to complete that. So what comes next is I'm going to give you a challenge that I think I can prioritize and tell my potential recommendations for that. And then I'm going to ask for your help on one that's kind of got me stumped. So you can see, I keep all of this stuff down in my bullet journal too. So you can see here that I've made quite a bit of progress. So something I think I can reasonably knock out in the next couple of months is the letter F. In part because I want to just finish this early chunk. I go A, B, C, D, E, and then G. So I kind of just want to knock F off a little bit. And when I look at my priority shelf, I do see some options. I have Furyborn by Claire Legrand, and The Five, The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper by Hallie Rubenhold. So I feel like even within that one glance around the shelf, I have two good options for how to get F done in the next couple of months. There are a lot of letters that kind of stump me for this alphabet challenge, but I would deeply appreciate your help with V. So anything with V that starts with the letter V, please let me know. And it has to be like the first letter of the title. So it can't be something like ultraviolet, you know, like as two separate words. It has to start, the first one has to start with a V. That's the only like squirrely thing about that, but let me know if you have any suggestions down in the comments for the letter V. Then I have the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge for 2021, and that has 24 separate challenges. So far I have knocked off 5. So with this particular challenge, I can't like double dip with my challenges, but I've read 5 of the 24. I feel okay about that. I would have liked to have read more, but let me talk about what I've actually read so far. So for the prompt, read a nonfiction book about anti-racism, White Rage by Carol Anderson. Another challenge was read a non-European novel in translation. I can use Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi for that. Then for the prompt, read a fat positive romance, I can use One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. Another prompt I have is read a historical fiction novel with either a POC protagonist or a LGBTQIA+ protagonist. And I read a novel where the protagonist is both of those things, and that is The Color Purple by Alice Walker. And then the last prompt that I've completed so far for the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge is read a book set in the Midwest, and that is Night Song by Beverly Jenkins, because that takes place in Kansas. That's not, like I said, 5 out of 24, not as much progress as I was hoping for. What I think I can prioritize accurately is the prompt, read a book with a cover you don't like. I've got just the thing. So I've been really looking forward to reading this book. I definitely will get to it by the end of 2021, if not in the next couple of months. But that is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I hate this cover. I hate the entire cover redesigns of these books passionately. In particular, I am not a fan of the graphic design of this because of its color story. So like this bright orange and this slate gray does not grab me as a reader at all. I'm not a fan. I know some people are really enjoying the new covers. I hate them. So this is a cover that I don't like, but I'm definitely excited to read this book. But the challenge for the Book Riot Read Harder that I'm going to ask your help with is there's a prompt for read a middle grade mystery. And since middle grade is just not my audience genre, please help me. I know so many of you are big middle grade fans, so please help me out. Like, what's a good middle grade mystery I should check out? Okay, one more to get through, and that is the PopSugar Reading Challenge for 2021. So this one has like 40 regular challenges and 10 bonus challenges for a total of 50. And so far I've only completed 14 out of the 50. Again, I'm not feeling great about that, but I'm hoping it'll pick up soon. Now this one you can double dip in. Like, it is completely fine for you to use one book for multiple prompts. So I have done that here. It's the only challenge that I'm doing in this roundup that allows for double dipping. So I'm double dipping not a bunch, but some. Now, I will say that if I can go in later on in the challenge and find unique books for my double dips, I would happily do that because I like the extra challenge of that. But if I'm just trying to read for completion, I may end up sticking with some of my double dips. We'll see at the next checkpoint how that goes. One of the first challenges is a book published in 2021, so something published this year. And I've already done that. That is The Duke Heist by Erica Ridley. This was published earlier this year, and I'm a big fan. There's another book in this series also coming out in 2021, so you could get on this and read multiple books published in 2021. Challenge a book by an author who shares your zodiac sign. So I am an Aquarius, and I had to do a little bit of digging, but it turns out that Alice Walker, who wrote The Color Purple, is also an Aquarius, so there's that. All right, then we have a book with a gem, a rock, or a mineral in the title, and that would be Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Now, this next book I did a little bit of double dipping. I've used this for both a book you have seen on somebody's shelves and a magical realism book, and that is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. The whole reason I picked this book up in the first place was because of Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me, one of my absolute favorite people on BookTube. So I've definitely seen this on her shelves. She is the reason I picked this book up, and this definitely has some magical realism elements. For a book set in multiple countries, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo works. This is set in the United States and the Dominican Republic. And this one is definitely double dipping, so I think if there's any candidate that's going to get another book slated in for one of these challenges, it's White Rage by Carol Anderson. This book works for the prompt, a book about a social justice issue. I think I can probably do better and find like a fiction book that fits into a social justice issue, but White Rage also works, a book that would be found on the Black Lives Matter reading list. So currently double dipping, likely going to change that, but this was such an impactful read for me, I'm using it as many times as I can. For a book that discusses body positivity, again, using One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. Okay, and I didn't pull these next couple of books off my shelves. I own them, but I'm not in the mood to go get them, so I'll just put their covers up here. It's a book that has fewer than 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, and at the time I checked, that was true for Crowded by Christopher Sabilla. Book everyone seems to have read but you. And for this, I feel like The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden was that for me, where I was seeing around the beginning of the year, so many people's wrap-ups, like Best of 2020, featured the first book or multiple books from the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden, and so I finally got around to reading it this year. Totally worth the hype, in my humble opinion. And then I like that the PopSugar Reading Challenge lets you kind of like tinker and fiddle with this a lot. One of the prompts is your favorite prompt from a past PopSugar Reading Challenge. So I went and looked at the PopSugar Reading Challenge for 2020, which I didn't participate in, but was just kind of curious about. And there was a prompt for a book about a book club, and that fits for the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society by Marianne Schaffer and Annie Barrows, because there's definitely a book club in here. It's in the title. There's a literary society. That's a book club. So loved this. Happy to see this show up on one of these challenges. Last but not least on the things I've completed in the first couple of months is from the bonus challenges. It's part of their like advanced challenge level. And that's a book from your TBR list that you associate with a favorite person, place, or thing. The person I associate this book with is Jeremy, my fiance, because it is his favorite book series of all time, his favorite author of all time. And that would be The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I read this a couple of months ago and loved it. So there's peace in our household. Oh, actually, I am incorrect. That was not the last one. I have one more from the advanced list that I didn't catch. And that is a free book from your TBR, meaning that you borrowed it or gifted it. Like you didn't do the purchasing. I am using a gifted book, and my lovely subscriber Erin gifted me Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. So that also counts for this. I did not realize I could double dip with this one, and I can, so yay. So yeah, awesome. Again, may swap this out for the uniqueness, but that really depends on how much progress I make in the next couple of months. Oh, before I forget, I need to ask for help and tell you what I think I can actually accomplish in the next couple of months with the PopSugar one. So let me see. Okay, so one challenge I think I can accomplish fairly easily is a dark academic book. So again, I don't have all of these with me right now, but I have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo in my shelves out in the other room. And back here, I have The Secret History by Donna Tartt, as well as If We Were Villains by ML Rio. So those are three books that I definitely think of as being part of that like dark academia vibe. So I know I can check off something with dark academia in the next couple of months, if not by the end of 2021. There's a lot of things that could stump me on this list, but the one that's catching my eye right now is a book that has the same title as a song, is the prompt. So a book with the same title as a song. And I know I could probably go with something really basic like somebody's name, but I'm just completely blanking on what those could be. So if you have recommendations for me, let me know those down in the comments below. And truly, if you have recommendations for me on any of the things I've asked for help on, please let me know in the comments. I just think that's kind of like a fun way for us to be a little bit more interactive about these reading challenges that I'm participating on. So would love to hear from you. And also let me know if you're participating in any of these yourself and like how your challenges are going. This feels like very strange for me to say. I'm really not good at self-promotion, but I do have my Amazon wish list open since I can buy books in April. There's absolutely no pressure whatsoever from me, but it just feels weird me having to say it or wanting to say it. But you know, it's there if you would like to support my channel in some small way. Also, liking and leaving comments are another wonderful way to support this channel. It's not all about the money you spend, but the wish list is open. There's also a ton of links, including my affiliate link with page 1 as a subscription box. There's also the link to the Discord for the book covered book club that I run if you would like to participate in that. It's very chill. No pressure there. And then there's also a bunch of links for resources to stop AAPI hate, as well as to support the Black Lives Matter movement. So those things are always down there, with the exception of the wish list, because the wish list is only open when I can buy books, but that's all down in the description box below. Regardless, thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you have a fantastic reading day. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me or this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!